So the first thing to do is just to verify that the plugin is installed in your project correctly. If you want to do that, the best thing to do is just to go to your file explorer and go to the top level of your project root. And then in there, you should see at the same level as the content, a folder called plugins. And in that, you should see keyTools. And if that's in there, then it's installed correctly. The other thing you would need to do then is go to your plugins in editor settings, and then do a search. Just type in BH, and you should see one here called BH keyTools. Just enable that, and then you'll be prompted to restart if it wasn't already enabled. And once you've restarted, then the plugin will be available. You should see up in your menu here, you should see an option for keyTools, and you just click that. That will open the UI. It won't be docked by default, but you can dock it into whatever part of your UI suits you. I like to kind of move it down near the sequencer curve editor. And then to use it, you need to have the sequencer curve editor open. So just for an example, I'm going to go to a level sequence, which I made earlier. And I made this little simple cube rig just to demonstrate. And I go to the animation selection mode. So this could be any character, any control rig object. You can see I've already got a little bit of animation on there, so I can just demonstrate. And then the functions all work on selected keys. So you select keys in the time manager. I select the rotation Y, for example. As I run these, it will, like the first one here is giving me a smoothed ease, like a spline ease out and it in. This one will give me a tighter ease. This one will give me an average. Each time I press it, it'll kind of take out noise. So that's really handy for mocap if you've got, a little bit of jitter in your keys and you just select a range. It'll just average them out. It'll blend them towards linear, basically. And this next function will make them linear exactly. So it'll calculate it based on the distance as well. So you don't have to have consecutive frames. I can take these two out, for example, run this, and it'll make those values completely linear. Very good for fixing walk cycles, sliding feet and that kind of stuff. This next button is the invert button, which just basically flips the values across the 0 line. So a value that was, I'll put this in, that was 200. Will now be minus 200. Just a quick way of mirroring things. And then these next two functions are the plus and minus here, are just for a small little scale up from the average value of the keys. Again, you can do that by switching mode here, switching to the transform or scale. But I like this one. I just want to just push a curve just a little bit beyond, without having to switch tools and all that. And the next tool then is zero keys, which just literally just flattens the values, zeros them out. And this next one is an interesting one. This one's called inertia keys. If I select this key, for example, it'll look at the previous key and it'll make a key that looks at the difference between these two and then projects it forward. So it basically keeps things moving at the same rate. So kind of like they're being affected by inertia. And it's very handy again for walk cycles when you want to move a character forward and just keep them moving at a constant rate. We don't want any, speeding up and slowing down. The next function, if I zero these, actually be a good way to illustrate it, is called delete redundant. So it'll take out any values that aren't contributing, basically values that are exactly the same as the ones either side of them. And then the last one is useful again for walk cycles. If I have a pose here, and I just middle mouse click it there, and say like that. You'll see I've got curves, cycle and cycle, so you can see the kind of virtual curves afterwards. You can see by default the curve is flat at the end when I'm using all the tangents, which would mean that I'd get kind of a slow in and a slow out again. So that's not great. So you can select any point on the curve. It doesn't matter really what point, or you can select all of them by just selecting the curve. The tool will just look at the start and end range basically, and it'll fix the tangent for that. So you can see now it's got a nice smooth flow through that loop. Unfortunately, you will need to change that again if you adjust the curves. It's just the way all the tangents work in Unreal at the moment. But it's very quick to just kind of click that again and just fix that. I'd say that kind of stuff, copying and pasting tangents, is really tedious when you're working on cycles, so that makes it much quicker. As I say, you can dock this wherever it suits you. It should remember next time you open your project, it should already be loaded, but if it's not, you can just come up here and load it again from the menu. And that's all the settings. I really hope this tool helps you do animation in a more easy and fun way and helps you speed up your workflow. Thanks for your purchase. Thank you. Cheers.